Everyone, this is Keys Ritual, and today I'm going to be going in drag again. I'm doing this because one of my friends from work is transferring, and Friday is her last day. So I'm recording this and just doing it. It's gonna be very basic drag. I don't really do much basic drag, as if you haven't noticed. So I'm gonna do my best. Sorry, right now I'm putting my brushes away. So I've shaved. My eyebrows have been re-bleached again, just because I want them to be as light as possible to make this easier. And also, we only have 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna go get, I'm gonna probably start right now. I'll put my contacts in later if I decide to put them in. Because I'm sort of short on time and I have brushes all in front of me that need to be put back away. And so, let's get started. Okay, first thing I'm doing is I'm actually hiding my eyebrows with Elmer's glue. I've done this a million times and this takes a little too long. So I just really quickly filmed it. I also use Shea Bella setting powder to really flatten it and clean it up. Now I put on some Bare Minerals matte primer, and then I'm covering it with Mehron Medium 3 as my foundation. I'm going to blend that in with a wet beauty blender. Now this is where I slow it back down so it's easier to see. And then I'm using my Urban Decay Primer Potion over my eyes just so I get those ready for when I'm going to put eyeshadow on it. I'm making sure it's nice and as thin as possible by really pushing it with the beauty blender. Now I'm going in with Ben Nye's Clown White into my highlight zones, which includes my cheeks, my nose, my upper lip, forehead, and then little lines underneath where I'm going to put my contours, which I'm using Dark 3 by Mehron. I'm also using those to contour my eyes just to begin with. Now, I've done this a million times in my past videos, so you've probably already seen this part. But I'm also using Maybelline's Hot Pink Blush also, just throwing it on my cheeks and a little bit of my forehead. Now I'm starting to blend it together, starting with the darker color from the dark brown, but then I decided it wasn't quite dark enough. After about a minute, I'm like, this is not too light, so I threw in some more and really blended it out and down. And then I'm blending my cheeks up into the white. I'm getting as close as I can to the eye. And I'm just blending out everything, starting with the dark and then working to the light, just so I have a nice contrast. And don't forget the neck, because you will get that neckline. Now I'm going in with my Organic Wear Light Powder, and I'm just putting it in my highlight zones using a beauty blender just because my makeup pads were still a bit damp from washing them. I'm actually using a dry blender just because I don't want the powder to be wet. And I'm going to blend a little bit of translucent powder all over my dark zones. Now I'm using Sugar Pill Taco on my eyes. And I got up a little high and I'm like, I don't really know where my brows are yet, so I'm going to draw those in first. So I'm using NYX Brunette 4. It's like a gel, and I'm using that to draw on my eyebrows. And I'm going to put a few coats on to make them really dark. Then I'm going back in with some Taco, making sure I put it as pretty much my entire base. Now I'm taking 2 AM by Sugar Pill, and I'm just going to create my outer eyes and blend it up to the crease, but no further, that I've already created. And then I'm going to take a little bit of 13 by Urban Decay, and then I'm going to go in with Combust and Whiskey. And now here I am just putting Whiskey into my crease and blending it up from Urban Decay as well. And then I'm taking a little bit of Black Market right into the edge. And then I decided to blend a little bit more Taco in there. Now I'm using my Inglot Black Gel Liner, and I'm using a bit of Moroccan oil to make it really nice and creamy and drawing into my crease. And then I decided to blend it out with Bulletproof by Sugar Pill to really darken it up. And then I also add a little to the outside of my crease. And then blending it out with Taco and really making sure it's nice and clean. Now I'm using the same liner as my actual eyeliner. Now I put Love Plus on my lid, but I think I did it as I was doing 2 a.m. so you could see sort of the contrast. Sorry I left that out. I just couldn't tell when I did that. And I'm going to just sort of guess where I'm putting the line. Usually I use tape on my eye, but I'm also going to use it as my bottom liner as well as bulletproof on my bottom lash line to really blend it out, to give it nice depth. Now I'm taking the darkest color from my medium tan palette from Anastasia, and I'm going to put my contours in, and then I use the same loose powder and just really cut it with that pad and just blend everything else out. And I use a little bit of Sex Appeal by NARS, which I later decided wasn't the best blush. I'm having a little issue, so I'm just cleaning it up. And using a bit of the lightest color from my Anastasia palette to give it a little bit more color. Now I'm using Dior Show mascara on my upper lashes, and really bring it up. And then I use Stretch X on my bottom lashes from Touch and Soul. Now I decided randomly to apply some Ben Nye glitter. It's a white luminescent glitter, and I'm using the Lit Cosmetics glue to apply it and blend it, making sure it's nice and flat with my mini beauty blender. And cleaning up my liner when I'm done. Just blending in a little bit more white powder and a bit setting. And then I'm going to add a little bit darker color into my contours. And then I'm going to add a little bit more into my eyebrows to make it nice and dark. And better shape it. Now I'm using my eBay lashes. I'm using the biggest one out of this box, and I'm going to use those as my top lashes. What I do is I apply some glue, and I bend them so they're bending inward, and really make sure it's like nice and curved. And once it's dry and ready, I'm going to apply it to my top lash line. You see how I'm bending it in? And I also curled my lashes a bit more. Just applied it nice and using my back of one of my smaller brushes, because this is the only way I know how to really apply them well. Because I can't use tweezers, they scare me. And now I'm doing the same with the other top lash. Now I usually start with the center and work my way out. And doing the inside that last to make sure it's nice and even. Now I'm taking these smaller lashes and I cut the inside out, and I'm going to apply it. I had a bit issue with this lash because I put it on top of my lash instead of under them the first time. As you can see, I'm putting them in, and then I realized they're in the wrong spot, so here I am fixing it in really close up. And then I'm doing the same with the other one, although the first pair I cut the wrong side, so ignore that. Making sure it's nice and pointed up. Now I'm using my Lush Cosmetics Lip Scrub and Bubblegum, a little bit of Carmex Lip Balm, patting off the excess, and then I'm using Wet n Wild Black to draw my lips on, just to outline them, and blending it all the way into the inside. And now I'm using Jeffree Star's Jawbreaker, and using a brush to really blend it all over to give it a nice thin coat, and then adding a few layers as I see fit. And now I'm just using a brush with a bit of Blue Velvet by Jeffree Star, and I'm going to put that just on the outsides of my lip and a little bit around them to give it a nice ombre effect. Now once I'm done with that, I'm using Monet Exchange by Abracadabra New York City lip gloss. I'm just putting it in the very center to give it some depth. Then I'm using the darkest color from my BH Cosmetics blush palette, contouring my nose a bit, because I forgot to contour earlier. And this, gonna clean up my lips with Becca concealer in the color Mocha. I think it's Mocha. And I'm done. Okay, and I am done. I hope you enjoyed this. It's my first time going to work in this kind of drag. And also my first time wearing nails this long, plastic, on both hands. The thumbs didn't fit as I previously thought they did. One of them fit, but there was no duplicate sides for the other hand. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm already ready. I have 5 minutes to get out the door and bring stuff down to recycling. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully these don't fall off throughout the day. I'm bringing my nails just in case. But I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.